What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2025 Chevy Equinox ACTIV. Now, I've taken a look at the LT trim, so if you're interested in that, I'll have it linked down below. But this ACTIV here is one of the two higher trim levels that have the same exact starting price. So you've got the ACTIV, which is the more kind of rugged off-road styling. And then you have the RS, which is kind of the more sporty, kind of street styling. So if you're interested in that, I'll be making a video on that trim as well. But I really wanted to check out this ACTIV because I absolutely love this color combination. This is cacti green here. And we have the Summit White contrast roof, plus we have a maple sugar interior, which is beautiful. So we'll take a look at that in just a sec. But let's go ahead and start here up front with everything that we have here on this all-new Equinox ACTIV. So the new styling on the Chevy SUV headlights is pretty much the same across the board. You've got these really low-profile LED headlights and turn signals, and then your main beams and your high beams are going to be down below in this segmented off portion. Now there's a couple really cool accents inside of this headlight design. One is the little Chevy word mark that we have stamped in here, and then you also have your side reflectors built into the headlights here, which is a really neat little accent piece. And then you do have some little fog lights down below in this other portion. But really nice design, really elegant, low profile, aggressive. I really like this. You've got a gunmetal gray portion that runs across the front of the dash here, and you have black Chevy bow ties here. Your little ACTIV badging is kind of subtly built into the front grille here. Tons of detail on this grille. You have this little kind of sporty fan looking piece. It is, all plastic, but it looks really nice. And then you've got this nice big open grille here in the front-facing camera that's going to work with your 360-degree HD surround vision. Then you've got a body-colored split, some plastic cladding here at the bottom, which is nice and rugged, little air intake down there. Under the hood of the ACTIV here, you're going to have a 1.5-liter turbocharged inline 4, 175 horsepower, 184 pound-feet of torque, 29 miles per gallon highway, 24 miles per gallon city. And this is going to be the same on all of the different models. The only real difference is you can get it paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission or a CVT transmission on the lower trim levels. This has the 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, if we move on over to the side here, you've got some bolstered cladding around the wheel wells here. You'll notice these big all-terrain tires that we've got here. This is really what's going to help differentiate the ACTIV from the RS. These tires really stand out when you're looking at the different models side by side. The tires are mounted on these 17-inch dark Android machined wheels here. They're a two-tone wheel. Nice kind of subtle design to them. I mentioned the Summit White contrast roof here, black roof rails, and a panoramic sunroof up top. Really like the contrast roof with this cacti green. You also have contrast side mirrors that match the Summit White roof, which is great. Cameras up underneath these. They are manual folding, but they are heated, and you have blind spot monitoring built in. Keyless access on the door panels here with this little silver button. Nice big Equinox word mark spaced out here on the door panels, and then nothing really extra on the bottom outside of some more plastic cladding, which again is going to help with that kind of ruggedness of the ACTIV trim. And you can probably notice because of these larger wheels, you have a little bit more ground clearance. It's not a ton, but just a little bit that makes it noticeable when compared to the RS or the LT trims. All right, so moving here to the back of the Equinox ACTIV, you'll notice that Summit White roof kind of extends and creates a little bit of a spoiler up top to help keep stuff off of this camera back here. You've got a brake light up top, then you've got your rear view mirror camera right here up underneath with a little sprayer to clean that off if need be. Tinted rear glass, a rear wiper. You've got black Chevy bow tie here. Got your Equinox all-wheel drive badging back here as well. And then your ACTIV badging, all really subtle in kind of a black powder-coated look. Then you have your standard rear camera up underneath. Again, that's gonna work with that HD surround vision to give you that overhead view of your vehicle. You do have these really nicely sculpted LED tail lights here. They wrap their way around the side of the vehicle too in this nice little Y shape. Looks really nice. Parking sensors on this kind of cladded lip here. And then you have a little bit of a gray kind of accent piece at the bottom, towing hitch up underneath, and that's going to give you 1,500 pounds of towing capacity. Now you do have an auto sense lift gate, so if you approach it with the key in your pocket and wait for a second, it's going to beep and go ahead and open up. But we can also just open it using the button up underneath or the button on the key fob. That'll open right up for us and give us access to 30 cubic feet of cargo space with the second row seats up. If we fold those down, 64 cubic feet of cargo space. You've got room for a cargo shade back here, a cargo net, hooks, LED lights back here. You've got underfloor storage, and then if you lift the underfloor storage up even more, you have a 17-inch spare tire up underneath. That's not an all-terrain tire though, just a normal tire, so you will have to replace that if you want to keep the all-terrain thing going. You also have these two little accent pieces down here where your exhaust would be. You can't actually see the exhaust, but these accents do look really nice. But that's pretty much everything in the tailgate. Let's go ahead and hop inside. I mentioned the maple sugar interior when we were outside, and man, does it look good. I absolutely love it. It makes this cabin feel so much more premium. But let's just go ahead and work our way around the entire thing. So starting over here on the door panels, you have hard black plastic up top. Don't like that, but what I do like is this beautiful maple sugar colored, kind of rubbery textured material that runs along the side panels. Again, still feels rugged to match that active theme, but a nice color pop here. Then you basically have hard black plastic all the way down, aside from a little gloss black accent on the door panels. So again, not the most premium materials, but again, we are talking about just around $40,000 for this vehicle. But that same theme kind of runs its way across the dash, so kind of a little bit more soft touch on the dash actually across the top, but it is black. And then you have that maple sugar kind of rubbery textured accent piece that runs across with a little kind of like a geometric camo plastic accent up top here. I'll show you guys what that looks like up close. And then everything down is hard black plastic. Across the center console, you do have gloss black plastic, which is my least favorite kind of accent thing that you put on a vehicle, especially on this little shift area with your drive mode selector, because you're going to be touching this all the time. Fingerprints, dust, gross stuff all over it all the time, and around this entire center console where all of the most highly contacted points are. Don't love that. But over here, you've got your kind of Camaro inspired vents here that twist and pivot around inside of their little sockets with some nice accent pieces on the outside, and then you can kind of twist them to lock them closed. You do have position memory over here on the door panels, your electronic parking brake, all-wheel drive button, auto vehicle hold button, and auto start stop engine button. And then you have this massive steering wheel. Not only is it large just overall, but the girth of it, the width is really chunky. But you have your adaptive cruise control options on the left side, media controls, and your heated steering wheel button for this leather wrapped steering wheel on the right side, black Chevy bow tie in the center, and some little kind of silver accent pieces as well. Again, a little bit of accent stitching on the inside, but nothing crazy. It's just a big steering wheel. You have paddle shifters on the back of the steering wheel, and then you have your combo light and wiper stalk on the left side, and then your shift stalk is on the right side. So this is kind of a modern Chevy design thing. Shift stalk on the right side instead of a physical shift knob in the center. Now past the steering wheel, you're going to have an 11-inch driver information display. This can be customized. There's several different view layouts that you can choose from, but you do get a lot of vehicle information. It's just the design is not my favorite when it's a little bit cluttered like this, but again, very customizable here and a lot of information. So if you want to see everything your car can do and everything that's going on, this is for you. So that brings us over here to this 11.3-inch driver infotainment display. Now this is not the massive 17.7-inch display that you can get on the Equinox EV and some other newer Chevy models that are more expensive. This is the little bit lower end display as far as size goes, but you still have all the same functionality. Again, powered by Google, so all your Google apps are going to be built in. Google Assistant, Google Play Store, Google Maps, Google Podcasts, Google News, Google Assistant, all that's going to be built in. One thing that this system has over the larger system that's on the Equinox EV, this system actually has Android Auto and Apple CarPlay wireless. The other system on the EVs does not, for safety. You've got that navigation built in with Google Maps. Again, phone protection, Bluetooth. You've got all of your kind of standard like radio, AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth, My Chevrolet app, again, all the Google apps built in. 2 vents under that and a push to start engine button. And then in addition to that on-screen climate control, you also have physical controls for all of your climate. So your heated and ventilated seats can both be controlled here. And then your dual zone climate control system is also adjustable via all of these physical controls. Under that, you have one USB-C port, one USB-A port, a little pad for storage, Qi-enabled wireless charging pad, 2 cup holders. Your drive mode selector is right here. So you've got snow and ice, off-road, normal, and then you can go into those and customize them or read more about them if you want to. And then up underneath you have a little tray you can remove in this center console, a little light back there, but no additional ports, but it is a nice deep pocket down there. Up top you've got your rear view mirror camera that we talked about outside, so you can flick this switch to switch between sunglasses holder up top. They even labeled it for you, which is funny, I haven't seen that before. You've got your controls for your panoramic roof, LED dome lights, all of your OnStar controls, and then a black liner up top as well. Now, as far as the seating surfaces go, these are Chevy's EvoTex and suede microfiber seating surfaces. They feel really, really nice. They're a two-tone seat, like I mentioned, with black and that maple sugar with kind of a coppery gold accent on the sides. The driver and passenger 8-way power adjustable with 2-way lumbar support. You've got 2-way position memory for the driver's seat, and these are both heated and ventilated. So, top of the line seats here. Plus you've got your little active badging built into the headrest with that microfiber piece at the top right where your head's gonna hit it. So nice and comfortable too. Definitely check these out. All right, hopping here into your second row seats. Again, door panel materials, basically the same as they are in the front, just a hard black plastic all the way down with your little maple sugar accent. Now, as far as passenger volume back here, look at this knee room. I had my seat where I would sit as a 6'1" driver, maybe even a little bit further back, and I still have probably 5-6 inches of rear leg room. I can tuck my feet up underneath. The seats kind of arc back to give you that extra space. You've got mat pockets in both seats. Plenty of headroom, and that panoramic roof is going to work its way all the way back here, so you'll get extra sunlight. Shoulder space, not amazing, but it's a compact SUV, so you kind of expect that. You do have rear vents back here, which is a huge plus in my book. I really don't like riding in SUVs that don't have rear vents. They feel really stuffy in the back. You do also have heated seats for those chilly days, plus 2 USB-C charging ports, which again, huge thumbs up there. Armrest that folds down with 2 cup holders, and the floor is really flat back here, so you could fit 3 kids back here without any issues, and 2 adults are going to be perfectly fine as well. And again, you get that really nice kind of two-tone seat back here with the black and the maple sugar accents. All right, let's take the 2025 Equinox Active for a little test drive. Reminder, 1.5 liter turbo inline 4, 175 horsepower, 185 pound-feet of torque, 29 miles per gallon highway, 24 miles per gallon city, and it is paired with the 8-speed automatic transmission. Again, on the front-wheel drive models, you will have a CVT transmission. Definitely, in my opinion, opt for the 8-speed automatic. Makes a big difference. Go ahead and give it a little bit of an acceleration test. And a good braking test here as well. So again, it's not going to blow you away speed-wise. You know, it's not really that type of vehicle, but it does have a little bit of capability with having this 1.5 liter turbo and these big old sport terrain tires and things. You could do a little bit of off-roading with this. I wouldn't go crazy, but you definitely could do a little bit, especially having that all-wheel drive. All right, now that we're coming to a stop, we can get a dB test at idle. Turn the air off. About 45 dB with the engine off. If we turn the engine back on, around 49 dB. So not a huge difference there. And then once we get up on the highway, we'll get a highway dB test and try out our cruise control. But while we're just sitting here, we can kind of talk about some of the things that I like and don't like about the Equinox Active here. First and foremost, let's start with the things I do like. I have to say, I love the color combination on the exterior of this vehicle and the interior, but we'll get to the interior. But the combination of that cacti green color with the contrast Summit white roof is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. I'm a huge fan. I think I checked it out also on the Trailblazer, so if you guys are interested in that, I reviewed that and had the same color combo. But again, here on the Equinox, it still looks great. Huge fan of that color combo, and there's all kinds of different combos you can do with the different contrast roofs, so definitely check those out. But cacti green, really, really nice color. Now too, let's talk about the interior here. I love this maple sugar interior. It adds like an elevated touch to the Equinox. Again, we're not talking about a super expensive SUV here at only about $38,000, which it starts at like 35, so just a couple options added on there. So this is really actually pretty affordable as far as this segment goes. And to have kind of this elevated touch of those brown kind of rubbery accents and the beautiful two-tone suede and leather seating surfaces, really, really hard to beat. And having heated ventilated seats is such a nice touch. And then finally, I just have to mention the technology. I mean, having 2 full displays is always great. I love having digital displays, and obviously you're going to have an infotainment display in every car, but having a fully digital display, having a fully digital rear view mirror, having 360-degree camera systems, having all of Chevy's safety systems, plus all of their new technology. Most of it works really, really well. The infotainment system works really well. Not my favorite look, but it works really well. So I think Chevy really did a nice job with the technology in this vehicle. Again, for the price point. Now, some things I don't like as much. I don't love only having the one engine option being the 1.5 liter turbo. I think For the size of this vehicle, especially because it feels like a larger vehicle than the outgoing Equinox did, it just feels a little bit lethargic when it comes to the acceleration. Now, I know you're not buying an Equinox, a kind of entry-level mid-size SUV for the power, but having like a 2-liter turbo engine option with a little over, in the 220 horsepower range, I think would be a really nice complement to this vehicle. And I wish that they gave you that as an option at least. But 1.5-liter turbo is the only one so far. Number 2 is the exterior design. Now, it's not a bad design. It's just a little generic in my opinion. I think the previous generation Equinox had more personality, had more spunk. It kind of had a very specific Equinox styling. And to me, the current iteration here just looks like a Traverse. It's like if you took the Traverse and went, squished it down a little bit, Honey, I Shrunk the Traverse, that's what you've got here. It's not a bad design again, it's just not my favorite. And then finally, you guys know what I'm gonna say, the interior materials. Now, I complimented the maple sugar accents all around this cabin, it's great, but some of the door panel materials, especially in the back, which we've come to expect that from Chevy, but some of the ones even in the front, it just shouldn't have hard black plastic right here, and I'm really not a fan of this gloss black plastic around the center console, especially because this is a family car. You're gonna have all kinds of grubby nubbies all over this area. I wish they'd go with more of a textured plastic that would be a little bit more rugged to match this active theme. But I'm gonna go ahead and hop here onto the highway. We can get a highway DB test and then wrap this thing up, but I've really enjoyed the time that I've spent with the Equinox Active here. I highly recommend, if you are going to pick up an Equinox for 2025, if you're not gonna get the EV, which would be my first recommendation, because I love it and it's really fun to drive and pretty affordable with the tax credit. But if you are gonna be picking up a combustion engine Equinox, I wouldn't get an LT. I would just stay away from the LT. It's not that much more. I think it's probably like 2,000, 3,000 more to get into a base level RS or active, and then probably around 5,000 additional to get up to this type of active that's fully loaded here. I think it's worth it. I think going from the LT to the active is a massive jump. You're going to be really grateful you did that with the added material quality and the looks. I mean, the looks really hard to beat, honestly. But while we're cruising here, let's get a highway DB test. About 72 dB, pretty normal. It takes a second for that turbo to kick in, but once it kicks in, it really starts to go. I think if I were to use the paddle shifters, I think I could get up to speed a little bit quicker, but I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I'm not super good at it. Once you get going, once you get past that little delay, it feels quick. You won't have problems passing. It's just gonna take you just a second to get there. Overall, the ride quality feels pretty smooth to me. I think the only thing that I'm having an issue with is just the cabin noise. The dB reading said it was 72 dBs. It sounds louder than that to me. It feels like I'm hearing a lot more road noise. Now we are on the highway, but still, maybe it's the tires, I don't know. It sounds a little loud to me. So just something to keep in mind. It may all be personal preference and I'm used to a really quiet cabin. Again, highly recommend going up a trim, getting an RS, getting an active. I've taken a look at the LT if you're interested and you want to see what it does come with standard. And then I've taken a look at this active here and we will be making an RS video very soon as well so you can compare all of those trims. But I think Chevy really did a good job with the Equinox redesign. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like. Let me know what you think about this 2025 Equinox Active. Let's talk about it down in the comments. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be one of the first to see every single new video the second I hit publish. We'll see you in the next one.